All right, guys, welcome back. It's the last lesson that we've got in the Going Solo story. This is 8A, Subunit 3, Lesson 10, A Bit of Water in the Jug. This story comes to a conclusion, okay? This is an intense event that's taking place. He's going up in the air in the Battle of Athens and trying to basically defend Greece against the Germans. So let's talk about what happens. First of all, the idea of adding and subtracting details is brought up. When Roald Dahl writes the story and he wants it to go fast, he wants things to happen, he omits details, right? You might do the same thing. If you're telling a story to one of your friends, you might say, oh, then we went to the park, and after that we ran over to Billy's house, and at Billy's house we played some video games, and after that we went to the ice cream parlor, and then, like, this story just went so fast. It was a whole day of activities in, 3-4 lines. By comparison, when it's really, really boring, and it's really, really slow, and you want to focus on every intricate detail. When I opened the book, the dust came out from between the pages, and I felt my eyes grow heavy immediately. I couldn't believe that I was opening this book. I swore I was never going to have to do this assignment, but it just wouldn't go away. So I grabbed it, I opened the computer. The keys were dusty, the keys were gross and dirty, and I started tapping. In this situation, the story I just told you the second time, that was like 9 seconds of action told in 30 seconds. It slows things down. That's the idea. In our story, Roald Dahl is very specific about some things. He talks about the inside of the airplane. He describes it in phenomenal detail. He does that to slow it down, to make us understand what's going on. And then when it's in the heart of battle, when there's big action happening, he omits things. And he goes faster and faster and faster, so that you feel caught up. You feel like, oh my God, I know what's going on. There's so many things happening. I can't even see all this. It's not an accident. We do that to control the pace for the reader. So let's go ahead and go to the second slide here. It's called Short Passage. This little short passage is a good example of that. I find it almost impossible to describe vividly what happened during the next half hour. I don't think any fighter pilot has ever managed to convey what it's like to be up there in a long-lasting dogfight. There's no details. He doesn't talk about anything that's going on. That's short, to the point, and it covers a half an hour. That's the idea. Let's go ahead and go to the reading where he's describing. Hank, wow. So in the reading here, we've got the Battle of Athens, the 20th of April. This is a big event, okay? We've already read some of this beforehand. They go over everything that's going on, all of the action that's going on. I want you to notice, which, by the way, when you hit play on this, it's going to take a little while. This is not a short piece. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the action. It's 4 minutes long to listen to it. It's called the Battle of Athens. The Battle of Athens is this big dogfight that he's been preparing for, where they're outnumbered by the Germans like crazy. But the British are just doing everything they can to not give up, right? To not say, all right, well, Athens is yours. They're trying to hold them back. And that's a tough thing to do. So he goes through in great detail all of this stuff. Now, I want to compare two passages on slide 4. So finish all the reading there so that you're familiar with it. When he describes the battle, I want you to give me some information. How does it feel? What are some details he talks about? How do you feel about what's going on? By comparison, when he's talking about the cockpit, give me some details about it. I want 50 words in each of these two boxes, describing how that moment felt to you. I felt crowded inside the cockpit. I couldn't believe how many buttons and switches and everything else that there were. I can't imagine being in that situation, strapped to that chair, knowing what I was about to go face. See, 50 words is easy. I want you to do that for both of these. And then we're going to talk about number 5. Number 5, last words. They show 2 endings for the story. I'm going to read the whole thing, and I'm going to omit this one sentence. And I want you to see what a difference it makes. So this is the battle's over. Him and David Cook land their airplanes, they come back, and they're getting cleaned up at the end of it. And this is their conversation. I wandered over to my tent. There was a canvas wash basin outside the tent, one of those folding things that stand on 3 wooden legs. And David Cook was bending over it, sloshing water on his face. He was naked except for a small towel around his waist, and his skin was very white. "So you made it," he said, not looking up. "So did you," I said. "It was a bloody miracle," he said. "I'm shaking all over." "What happens next?" "I think we're going to get killed," I said. "So do I," he said. If that's the ending, there's no hope there, right? Back to this hopelessness idea. There's nothing. Listen to the last sentence and how much it changes this. "So do I," he said. "You can have the basin in a moment. I left a bit of water in the jug, just in case you happen to come back." I saved a little bit of water in the jug so that you could wash up after this battle in case you made it back. If you really think that you're going to get killed, you going to bother with that? If you've given up hope, are you going to do that? No. I love the way that ends. I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the most hopeful moments of probably almost any story I've ever read. They are outnumbered crazily. They just survived a crazy fight. They're both shaking. Can't believe they're alive. And they're getting washed up. And David Cook says, "I saved you some water in the jug, just in case he made it back." It's brilliant. I love the way that it ends. I hope you did too. That's it. That's our story. I hope you've enjoyed all the characters. And I will see you guys for the next lesson. Thank you.